Hi everyone, welcome to Behind the Handprint. Today I'm here with Dina, a 2022 graduate. I'm going to be asking her some questions about her time at uni, also how she's doing now. So first off, could you tell us about like where are you now, and does your career path align with what you envisioned for yourself in high school?
So I am currently a sophomore at Stanford. I'm studying computer science and I'm doing the visual computation track. So it's more like graphics oriented. I'm definitely not doing what I thought I would be doing. Everything kind of accelerated and took a turn like my senior year as I was graduating. And that kind of propelled me into the field that I am right now.
So like what happened senior year that like shifted that change from like what you intended and like how you are now?
So I wasn't like exactly sure what I was going to like study in college. Like I didn't go in declared at all. Um and most of high school I thought I was going to do something robotics related, like something with mechanical engineering. Because I did a lot of robotics when I was in like middle school into high school.
Mhm.
And I thought like for sure I would not do CS because I tried CS and I despised it. So that was a big change. But the really big thing that happened was like it kind of all started my freshman year when I saw Paul DeBevec, who is actually also a uni alum, class of 88, I believe.
Mhm.
I saw him in the paper and he was doing some really cool stuff. Um, in relation to like the Academy Awards, and he'd won an Academy Award, I believe, and that's why he was in the paper.
Mhm.
So I reached out to him because I thought the stuff that he was doing is really cool, and I was able to reach out like or visit his labs in Los Angeles, and
Mhm.
hit like my senior year or like my junior year, I started doing work for him or like interning for him individually, and he was working at Google at the time. So I was like, oh, okay, this totally aligns with like my STEM interests. Like, okay, everything's going according to plan. But then he actually made the move to Netflix. And as I was graduating my senior year, he extended the offer for me to be a part of his team at Netflix starting that summer, which was crazy because for the longest time I had had this like hobby and interest on the side of photography and videography, and I never thought that I would be able to kind of bring that into what I do for work or for like anything beyond a hobby. And that kind of opened up like a whole new door. And I've been in like Hollywood over the summers up till now
Mhm.
doing like crazy stuff that I never thought I'd be doing before. So that was the shift. Long story, but yeah.
That's that's actually insane. Like, how is your experience at Netflix right now? Like, what do you do day to day?
Yeah, yeah. So the first year, or the first time I started there was like the summer of 2022. So like straight after I graduated, I moved out to LA in the middle of Hollywood, which was a crazy change because like you know where we're from. We're like
Like,
central Illinois, lots of cornfields to just like the big like the middle of a huge big city. Um Paul Tebevik, he was like incredible with helping me adjust and everything. But it was definitely a big change, so it took a while to get used to. But the projects that we're working on, I we work on mainly on like research and development within Netflix
mhm.
to work with something called like virtual production. I'd say like the whole gist of virtual production or all of that is to make it seem like the actors are somewhere that they're not. So it eliminates the need for us to bring like cast, crew, equipment to certain locations to shoot. And instead, we could be in like a random warehouse in Hollywood and virtually we relight them and we like put in the background to make them seem like they're in a random location.
Green screen, but like virtual reality.
Exactly, exactly. So the problem with green screen, there's like a lot of problems with green screen. You have like the green cast like on the person. You have to go into like post-production, key out the green screen, put something in.
Yeah.
But everything that we do is basically real time. So like an example of a use of this is like in Stranger Things, you know, the is it called the Upside Down? Okay, yeah. So like all of those scenes were shot in like on the stage. So it's all virtual, it's all like a digital background actually created by LED screens and a lot more like complicated like algorithms to make it line up with the camera, right?
Mhm.
But that's all like totally virtual. That's not like a green screen. It's just like an LED panel in the background showing all of that. Oh, also like taking university classes starting my junior year. I think it's like a great, you guys are still able to do that, I would assume.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's a great resource and like everyone should take advantage of it. Definitely don't feel pressured if there isn't a university class you're not interested in, because genuinely I don't think there's a point in doing um work for the sake of it looking good on your resume if you're not interested in it. Because if you're not interested in it, you're not going to give it your all. You're not going to get out um like anything useful from it. So definitely like find a class that's interesting to you and then take it because it's a university class.
Mhm.
I will say burnout is super real and I definitely experienced that my junior year. Just because I pushed myself hard, like really hard my freshman and sophomore year. Because I was really convinced that working, like overworking myself was kind of like the right thing to do. Overworking myself meant like, oh, I was doing well, but not necessarily.
Mhm.
'Cause that became like really apparent, like as I said, my junior year, everything just felt like super tiring. I wasn't like interested in stuff as much anymore, and I kind of like healed that by taking a huge break and then coming back. But I would say the best way to balance it is like I know this is so hard for uni students and it would definitely be hard for me back then as well, but take it's okay to rest. It's okay to take a break and not do everything. It's okay to not be like the head of like student council and then also be like a tri-sport athlete and then also do like two internships on the side and also take university classes. Like it's as much as people are saying like it looks good on your resume, what actually looks good to people is showing your passion and showing your interest in one specific like thread, you know?
Mhm.
Um, and that'll come naturally when you just chase what you're interested in.
On that topic, like I'm also a junior right now, and burnout is like so real. But like, how did you work through that? But also like, kind of the stress of college applications, like right after junior year. How did you work with that, or like get through it?
By the time college applications rolled around, I definitely did not want to work on them. This is just too much. I already have way too much on my plate. I am so tired. No,
Mhm.
thank you. But the way I kind of dealt with it was I also like I initially had like a huge college list. I had so many schools that I needed to like I wanted to apply to, and that was just not realistic. Because then I couldn't put enough effort into the schools that I really, really wanted to go to.
Mhm.
So narrowing down the list definitely helped narrow down my workload as well. And then um, I started, let me think, I started writing my applications the summer, like right when summer began. And it's not like, okay, let me like sit down for like an entire day and try to grind out an essay. It's just every day, like reading a couple questions, thinking about it,
Mhm.
and working on it bit by bit. Even if it's just like working on one of those like very short, like, I don't know, like 50 character responses, even just doing that in a day is great because over time, it's going to evolve. Your answers are going to evolve. You're going to want to change them. And when submitting college applications, I think the worst thing that you can do for yourself is submit something that you're not happy with, because then with college applications, you're gonna get accepted, you're gonna get rejected from some, and the worst feeling is when you get rejected and you're like, I didn't show myself on that page. I was unhappy with what I submitted. So like the best thing you can do for yourself is submit something that you're happy with. And if the rejection comes after that, then it's like, oh, then I was just really not a great
Yeah.
match for this school. Like genuinely, because I put myself on that page and they decided it wasn't a great fit, that's totally fine.
I guess, what advice do you have for current students on how to make the most of their time at uni?
I'd say utilize like the resources uni gives you. You have the whole, like the entirety of the University of Illinois campus basically at your disposal as well, which is incredible. Like, what other high schooler can say that? And it's like one of the top schools in the country as well. So just use your resources and ask, like, just ask. It is so powerful what like curiosity can get you. And I can say with confidence, I've gotten to this point purely because I have been naive enough to go up to people who are way like out of my league professionally and just ask them to have coffee or ask them to have lunch or ask them for advice. And they'll be excited to do it because they're like, oh, look at this like random kid who's come and asked me for my advice. That's kind of cool. They must be like interested. They must be passionate. So if you think someone's doing something really cool, get their email, try to like get to them somewhere somehow, and like just ask for their advice. There's genuinely nothing bad that can come out of it. You're not gonna come off as weird, and it can lead to some like pretty cool places. Way that I got to intern at Netflix was because I sent an email to this person I didn't know at all, and he responded to that email. So that that's my advice.
All right, and last question is, do you know where your handprint is? If so, where is it?
Oh, it's it's towards the beginning of the hall when you enter. Oh my God, I think it's the north side, the side facing Siebel. If you enter through the door that faces Siebel, it's gonna be on the left side, and then I think it's just like one locker block down, and you'll like see it on the left side towards the top. It's just like super simple. I think it's just like my handprint in blue, and then my name, and then 22. You should find it. You should check it out. It's really boring. There's a lot of cool ones around that. My classmates slayed their handprints. I was just boring.
All right. Well, I guess that's all I have for today. Thank you so much for agreeing to be my interviewee.
It's gonna be amazing.
It's
It's gonna be amazing.
gonna be great.
It's gonna be great. Positive, positive mindset. Positive
Positive
attitude.
mindset.